Good afternoon. My name is Gabriela Isidro Orellana. I'm a civil engineering and civil works student in the Universidad de los Andes, and this is the presentation for the professional practice that I performed on January and February of 2021. I did my professional practice in a company named Triovial Limitada. This is an engineering and construction company founded 20 years ago by two civil engineers from the University of Católica del Norte in Antofagasta, Chile. They work in the road sector, and their main client is the Ministry of Public Works, also known as MOP, with whom they have global conservation contracts. The current status of the company is they have 7 active contracts, 5 of these being global mixed conservation contracts by service level and by unit prices, and 2 global conservation contracts by service level and by road unit prices. They have approximately 210 workers in total on the company. The area of work that I performed in was the contract named Global Mixed Conservation Contract by level of services and by unit prices of roads in the Antofagasta province, Antofagasta and Taltal region sector, stage 3 in Antofagasta region. My assigned role was that of assistant engineer with resident engineer Jorge Lopez, who I assisted in all the areas that the contract include, such as accounting and finance, planning and project supervision, among others. In the finance area, I carried out several tasks, such as verify and update expense sheets, billing sheets, and modify Excel documents that are used for expenses of the company. This helped me understand how the company works and how important it is to keep track and in order this data. In management, I was in charge of interacting with the restaurants used for food for the field workers and make sure that everything was in order. Besides that, I was in charge of managing the work control book of the contract because this is for its monthly revision. Also, I have to manage the organization of other tasks of the contract that will be described later in this presentation. One of the most challenging activities for me was the evaluation, definition, and supervision of road demarcation line paintings. This was particularly difficult because I had to make sure that the way I presented the task was understandable for the people who were going to perform the work and oversee that it will be done correctly. In the pictures here, you can see the first picture is where I had to travel to the whole road and see which lines needed to be painted. The second picture is the machine that paints the road, and the third is field supervision. The other most challenging activity was the quick solution for problems on the road and the travel time of working in desert climate. This is because of the type of contract that Triovial Limitada had. There had to be review there must be a review all the amounts of all the times, all the items made in order to do the maintenance correctly and reach a good agreement with MOP for the charges. One of these items is road marking, so I had to travel the miles of the contract in a van and using a satellite odometer, that is the one in the third picture, to be able to see if the work carried out by the company that previously held the contract was correct. This presented me difficulty because of the long hours of the travel and the desert conditions gave me I was physically ill at some points, but I had to make sure beforehand that I brought water and snacks and the correct equipment for my body so I could endure the heat. Well, to conclude, as a personal reflection, the results of the professional practice were positive. I had a good experience and I was able to generate professional relationships with professionals in the field that I'm going to dedicate myself to. I learned about road construction, which was the area that the company worked on, and also I could link my university studies with fieldwork, which helped me to develop both professionally and personally.